What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, ready to deliver you our Week 4 team builder here in the PTL. We are taking on the blue team now, which was formerly coached by Jazzy, who had to drop out from the league. Which is why this is the second time I'm recording a team builder for this matchup, because the new coach, Mike, and his Auschwitz coughings are taking over, and they made a bunch of changes to the team, so I have to adjust accordingly. But his team now consists of Altaria, which can be Mega, Thunderous Incarnate, Scolipede, which is a Z user, Heracross, which can also be Mega, Cresselia, Alolan Muck, Houndoom, Hippowdon, Mantine, Excadrill, which can be a Z user, Amoonguss, and Chansey. So one thing I noticed about his team is it's fat. Fat, 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 fat. Holy, 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 holy fat. Between things like Cresselia, Muck, Hippowdon, Mantine, Amoonguss, Chansey, he's got bulk out the asshole. Not really a huge fan of dealing with that. On top of that, he's got things like Mega Heracross, Mega Altaria, very bulky offensive mons, can set up and do a shit ton of work. Definitely not a huge fan of having to deal with that at all. Definitely going to be really, really tough to deal with. Just going to be... Plus, he has the Sand Core of Hippowdon and Excadrill, so I'm going to have to be really, really careful with how I prep for that. But I think I have a good matchup here. I think I can pull this off. And I'm going to start pulling this off with Ron Weasley, the Weavile, Life Orb, Swords Dance, Knockoff, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard. We're running enough speed to outpace a max speed Jolly Scolipede. The reason I'm outspeeding Scolipede is like just in case. Like I'm going to try to whittle the Scolipede down as the match goes on. I have things that can auto switch into Scolipede pretty easily throughout the game, and like Scolipede can't really touch certain mons on my team, but this thing can outspeed it naturally, and which is good. And we can just kill things, which is also good. We have Ice Shard. We can stop it if it tries to get a late game sweep going with the Scolipede. We can just Ice Shard it and kill it, which is great. We have Ice Shard. The Ice Shard will be very useful against things like the Thunderous as well and the Altaria. Late game to try to pick them off as well. Knockoff is going to be the move we click 99% of the time, because knocking off the items on his team is going to be super important to allow us to break through things like Cresselia, the Muck, the Hippowdon, the Amoonguss, especially the Chansey. The Chansey needs to be knocked off ASAP. I'm pretty sure I have knockoff on like at least 2 mons on my team. Make sure I potentially break through that Chansey. So hopefully that'll work out. If we can get an SD up at some point in the matchup, we can basically just auto-win, because barring Scolipede, we can pretty much 1v1 pretty much everything on this team with an SD up and beat it. Because get SD up, we can break through things like the Mantine, the Chansey, and stuff with knockoff. The only thing on this team that really could take a hit probably is Houndoom, but at the same time, like, it's just Houndoom, and I don't think he brings Houndoom to this match. Like, he could very well bring Houndoom to this match. I'm not saying he won't, but I just don't feel like it will come. I don't know. I just have this feeling that Houndoom might not show up. Actually, Houndoom probably has a really god-tier matchup in this game, and he might just have to bring Houndoom against me. If he doesn't bring Houndoom against me, I'm shocked, now that I look at it. But I do have Milotic and Arcanine, which is hard wall Houndoom to the end of time. So he might just see those and be like, yeah, Houndoom's not worth my time. But regardless, I think if I get an SD up, I can basically just beat him down enough with the rest of my team. So I almost feel like he's guaranteed Colbur on Cress. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. Maybe even Yachi on Amoonguss or Hippowdon if he really wants to get cheeky. Those are also options I could see. But for the most part, I think Weavile just has a great matchup, and I think it'll do well. Next up, we have Swolskeeto, the Buzzswole. We have 248 HP, 48 into defense with an impish nature. We have 52 in our speed, and the rest going into our attack stat. We are rocking the Koba Berry on our Buzzswole. We actually have to make sure that you are shiny Buzzswole, because I like shiny Buzzswole. Anyways, first off, this defensive spread allows us to just allow us to do again? This allows us to completely hard wall Excadrill, which is important. This set just completely shuts down Excadrill. We can switch in on it every single time. It does no damage to us. This thing also pretty much hard walls Scolipede as well, which is super important. We have the Copa Berry in just case of any random HP flyings, as well as a potential Aerial Ace from something. We have enough speed to outspeed min speed base 85, which would be Cresselia. So we outspeed min speed Cresselia. We have Drain Punch, Roost, Leech Life, and Thunder Punch. Leech Life will be very nice to hit the Cresselia with, so that we can get some HP back, as well as being able to do some decent damage to the Cress. We have Drain Punch to hit the Chansey with, because we will basically just be able to heal off any damage it does to us with that Drain Punch. We have Roost to heal ourselves up regularly. And then we have Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch is for the Mantine. If he wants to switch the Mantine in on this, we can literally just go straight for Thunder Punch and kill the Mantine, and we'll be good to go from there. Regardless, Swolskeeto has a really fantastic matchup in this game. The only thing I don't like about this particular scenario is he's going to get defense boosts instead of attack boosts for his beast boosts, which is unfortunate, but I need like this specific amount of HP and attack to allow us to, or HP and defense, to allow us to beat the Excadrill. This should actually still work. 240 and no, we're gonna put it back the way it was. I'd rather get the defense boosts but guaranteed still beat things like the Excadrill and stuff, than not get the then get the attack boosts and potentially lose in some way to them. So that's a thing. So that is the plan, though, with our Baswal, which is a fantastic and amazing Pokemon, and I'm really happy I get to use it again. It's been a little while since I touched this team, so I'm actually really happy that the league didn't die on us. So we're moving on to Ripster the Garchomp, who is a rough skin Rocky Helmet build this week, and the reason for that is Scolipede. This thing, hard wall Scolipede, 100% just hard wall Scolipede. This thing can also pretty much wall Alolan Muck outside of Ice Punch, but we have the Earthquake, obviously, to break through the Muck. This thing can take hits from the Mega Heracross. This thing outspeeds a max speed Jolly Altaria, so we can just Poison Jab the dick off of it, which is also very nice. We have the Toxic to be able to Toxic Mons on his team that might want to try to switch into this, and then start whittling them down. His only Cleric on his team is that Chansey, potentially also Heal Bell on Altaria. But I'm not too worried about that. But between Earthquake and Poison Jab, we hit everything on his team necessarily, and with the Toxic, we can whittle things down. Stealth Rock is very important in this game because we can start really whittling his team. He has Defog support in Mantine and Thundurus, as well as being able to Rapid Spin with Excadrill. But if he's Rapid Spinning with Excadrill, he has to waste a move slot that he might need for coverage for something else. I can also switch in on a Rapid Spin. If I know he has it, I can switch this thing in on a Rapid Spin and pretty much do 25% free with the Rough Skin Rocky Helmet onto the Excadrill, which could be very useful for beating it. Also, on top of that, Garchomp just kind of, and since rocks can get up, Thundurus and Mantine are both weak to rocks, so they will take that 25% coming in. So that's another thing that you should note. It's very important. I think this is just a good set for Garchomp this match. I think it'll go well. We'll see what happens. Next up, we have Gajiel, our Mega Aggron, wearing a mostly physically defensive set this week. Just for the simple fact that I wanted to bring mostly physically defensive. I think physical defense works really well. Shuts down Scolipede. Eats hits from Mega Heracross still, which is nice, which is why we also have the Aerial Ace to beat it, because it can't like sub up on us at all. We can beat it with the Aerial Ace, and then we can yeah, we beat Mega Heracross with Aerial Ace, and then that'll be all good and well. We have the Toxic to whittle down things that we can't just one-shot with our attacks. We have Heavy Slam for the Mega Altaria. Mega Altaria cannot set up on us. Mega Altaria cannot sweep us at all. Plus, I think it needs to get like +2 or 3 to be able to do anything of relevance to our Aggron. Also, Fire Blast through Filter will still not be enough to beat us with Mega Altaria either, so that's another thing to note. We have the Earthquake, just in case he wants to try to switch into things like the Houndoom or the Excadrill on this. By the way, this thing beats Excadrill because of Earthquake. Just overall, I think this Aggron set is just really solid. It really can't be beaten easily by a lot on his team, which is really cool to note. Yeah, Aggron just has a really good matchup here, so I'm really happy I get to use Aggron in this matchup. Next up, we have Elaine, our Togekiss, leftovers holding with mostly physically defensive, enough speed to outspeed in Speed Crest, but then all the rest into physical defense. Defog, Roost, Thunderwave, and Air Slash. We brought Paraflinch Togekiss this week with Defog because I feel like that's the best set for us. If he tries to set up things like Spikes, Toxic Spikes with Scolipede, if he tries to set up Rocks with Powdon or Excadrill, we can get rid of them with Togekiss. We can also fire off Thunder Waves. He has 3 mons that are immune to the Thunder Wave, but 9 others that aren't. And once those mons are Thunder Waved, I can literally just start clicking Air Slash and watch as they all slowly either get fully parried or flinch themselves to death, and that will be so much fun to do. I know it's really scummy, and I don't typically like playing that way, but I feel like in this matchup it's necessary. So we're going to give it a shot. Very straightforward, nothing too crazy there, but that's the plan. And the last one we're bringing is going to be Super Slep, our Uxie with the Colbur Berry. We're bringing Colbur Berry because I want to be able to live and knock off from something like the Heracross, be able to hit it back with a Psyshock. I want to be able to U-turn out on something like the Muck and be able to take a pursuit very nicely. Stuff like that. We have Heal Bell, Knock Off, Psyshock, and U-turn. Max HP, enough speed to outpace... Oh god, what are we outpacing with this speed stat? What are we doing? Actually, I think that's max... Yeah, that's max speed Jolly Mega Heracross. So, with outspeeding that, we'll be able to hit the thing with a Psyshock. We can eat a hit from the Cold Berry, unless he goes for the Pin Missile. But then we can beat him with the Psyshock. And then we'll be good to go. Knock off to get rid of items, potentially the Eviolite on Chansey. And then Heal Bell to keep status off our team. And that is all well and good. But with that, that's going to be it for me. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, I'm PokePrimer, signing off. Peace. Alright guys, we are here for our Week 4 match of the PTL against Mike, who is taking over for Jazzy's team, the blue team. He's bringing the, I believe, regular Houndoom, the Thundurus Incarnate, the Alolan Muck, Powdon, Excadrill, and Chansey against my Weavile, Buzzwole, Garchomp, Mega Aggron, Togekiss, and the Uxie. So let's go ahead and get into this one. We are going to go with slow speed, and we're going to switch sides, because that is what we need. So he's going to lead with his Thundurus, as I'm going to lead with my Garchomp. He's going to go right turn 1 with the HP Ice, so I'm like, oh, that hurts. But I got my rocks up, so that's what I wanted, and that's what I got. So that's fine. I'm going to go now into my Uxie, as he's actually going to go for the Volt Switch that turn. Ballsy play, predicting me to switch, but actually also smart play. There's no reason for me not to switch. I went for the U-turn here on the Muck, as he's actually going to go for the Pursuit, but I do have the Colbur, and he's going to get the Poison Touch on me, which actually really fucking sucks. I'm really not too pleased with that, but I'm going to go for into my Aggron here, And I'm going to Mega Evolve as he switches into his Hippowdon as I go for the Earthquake. Which is fine. So I'm actually going to Toxic this Hippowdon so I can start whittling this bitch down as he's going to set up his own Stealth Rocks. Which again, is fine. Sorry. I switch into my Uxie here, knowing I can take an Earthquake, or knowing I can dodge an Earthquake, and maybe that he's going to slack off here, which is fine. And so he's actually going to go now into his Houndoom, as I'm going to go for a knockoff, which is convenient because I'm actually going to get rid of its Mako Berry. So it was going to munch on that berry pretty soon, and now I'm actually going to die to the sand and the poison, which allows me to capitalize on this Houndoom a bit better and go into my Garchomp. He's going to go into his Powdon as I'm going to go for a Toxic, so very smart play on his part. I was predicting him to maybe go Chansey or maybe even Tornadus, or Thundurus, I mean. That's fine. He's going to go for a Toxic as I actually go into my Togekiss here, which is very unfortunate, but it's also whatever. Not a huge deal. He's going to go out into his Muck as I'm actually going to go for a Defog and get rid of the rocks that are out here, which is just good for me. I don't really want those rocks up on my side of the field, to be honest. I kind of wanted them gone. I'm going to actually switch out to Garchomp here, as he's going to actually double out into his Houndoom. Puts me in a very good spot. He actually goes for the Dark Pulse this time, revealing that he is faster than me. Noticing that he is faster than me, which is smart on his part. And then he goes for the Destiny Bond as I go into my Mega Aggron. So that Houndoom played me hard. That was a really smart bring on his Houndoom with the Destiny Bond. I didn't even know it got that. So really cool move there on his part. Very cool play. I'm going to go into my Weavile here as he reveals the Yachi Berry on his Thundurus. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, Yachi Berry, and then goes for the Brick Break. So I'm like, oh, dude, nah, I got stunted on. He just fucked me up in this game. And at this point, it's kind of just GG. Togekiss goes down to the Thunderbolt. I'm going to go now into Swolskeeto. And he's going to Volt Switch out, which is fine. I understand. Smart play. He's going to go out into his Powdon here. So I'm just going to go for a Thunder Punch, which he's immune to, which is hilarious. But Swolskeeto is just going to get worn down here. He's going to go back to his Thundurus again. I don't know why he doubled out, but the Drain Punch is actually going to kill, bring me up close to half, and give me a defense boost, which is what I wanted on my Buzzwole this week. I wanted to be getting defense boosts. So he's going to go now into his Hippowdon, and I'm going to Drain Punch and get some more HP back, as he's going to Toxic me, which at this point is putting a timer on the rest of the match, but there's also the potential for me to somehow pull out a W here. I don't know how. So I'm going to boost up as he's going to Earthquake, which does like no damage. That crit is crazy. Does no damage at all, so it's crazy how bulky Swolskeeto is. I'm going to Drain Punch this Hippowdon now that it's in range, so I can get up a second defense boost. That's 2 kills for Buzzwole, because Buzzwole is a G. He's now going to go into his Alolan Muck. And I'm going to Leech Life on this thing because I feel like that could do more damage. As he's going to Fire Punch me, which does nothing at all. And it's just kind of crazy because I know the Toxic is going to kill me before anything else. Buzzwole is actually going to... I'm actually going to Roost here with Buzzwole. See what I can potentially do. Fire Punch is going to not do enough. And the Toxic is going to keep bringing me down. I'm going to Roost again here and see what happens. He's going to Fire Punch. Like, I know that I lose this. I know that I lose this game. And unfortunately, I had to just kind of give the game up there because the Sandstorm did run out on that turn. I kind of wish that there was one more turn of Sand so that I could let the Muck go down to Sand so I didn't have to, like, waste that. I could still get HP back, kind of. Not waste, have the turn be totally a waste, but I was able to Leech Life, kill the Muck, and I dropped to the Poison. If I was not Toxic, if somehow that situation never happened, or if you missed the Toxics and whatnot, I would have probably won this game, because a +3 defense Buzzwole against an Excadrill without Sand and a Chansey kind of just wins, which is great.
But regardless, it was a fun set, and it was interesting. I built the team based on how I feel Jazzy would have battled. And, so I'm really pleased with how this turned off, and looking forward to really looking forward to the rest of the season. Hopefully we can bounce back off of this loss. And, I think we'll be able to do fine for the rest of the season now that we are off spring break and able to focus more on the leagues. So we'll be able to, we're back and we're good to go. So, thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.